Hey everybody, and welcome back to some Roblox and Forces, and today I just want to go over one quick tip. And this tip is going to save your life no matter what. Okay? This tip is so unbelievably helpful that, I don't understand why more people are doing this and why people complain over this. The one simple tip is you need to pick up a second weapon. Doesn't matter. If you guys use a specific secondary and you guys gotten so used to it, remember just to kind of swap to it or whatever. But always make sure that you have a secondary weapon that you can rely on. You guys always see me. I'm always picking up another weapon. You guys see I have the AKM and I also have the DBV-12. That's because I picked up the DBV from some guy that I just killed. Picked it up so that way I could use it. And one simple thing like this is something that I see never. I barely ever see this. Only the people that I play with, like Mason and Tyler, they are the only people that I know that actually will pick up weapons like this. And it's crazy that this actually happens, that nobody will pick up a single weapon as their secondary. I typically do shotgun or LMG as my secondary. I find that that is probably one of the strongest, and then I make sure to have some sort of full auto weapon that I can rely on. So now, as I just died, now I have to rely on my ability to kill somebody and pick up another weapon. Now yes, I do have a shotgun as my secondary. I have the whatever this gun is called, but I do still want a better shotgun. So I just killed this guy. He has a KSG. I'm gonna pick this gun up and I'm going to use this because this gun is better than that gun. It's just simple stuff. Now I'm going to pick up the DBV because I'm actually needing to get more kills with the DBV than the KSG, because the KSG already have over 1,000 plus kills. And now I'm going to kind of go full bore, full auto into these guys, just to protect my teammates. But so basically, just make sure that you guys can find a weapon to use. Now there are some different combinations. There's like, what I typically do is have a very strong, powerful gun with a maybe not so powerful gun, but is full auto and I can control. MP7, and pretty much any LMG I will pick up, and shotguns. I'll pick up any of those. Sometimes, yes, I will pick up the sniper rifle. Like this map, I would definitely recommend the intervention to pick up. But just make sure to keep a secondary weapon. Don't really stick with pistols. Those aren't going to help you guys in these big old gunfights. Those guns are actually going to get you more likely killed, which is not what you want. So just keep that in mind as you guys might be using some of these higher weapons. And if you guys find a higher rank weapon that you guys have never been able to get, go ahead and get that. Go and see, like, oh, I might be playing and I might drop a PPSH when I die. Go grab that weapon, because then that can give you the advantage of maybe not having to buy another weapon. Just waiting it out until you get it, or see, oh hey, this gun's actually really good, let me go ahead and buy it. Just keep all of these keep that kind of as a learning curve. Oh, I don't really like this weapon, so I shouldn't have to go buy this. Just keep that in mind, because then that'll actually kind of help you guys decide on what weapons you guys are going to really want. And if people say, oh, you're cheating because you picked up a second weapon, just educate them. Say, no, you can actually pick up a second weapon with your secondary. And then just leave the conversation there. If they still want to ban you, just either A, ignore it, or B, if it's getting too close, just leave. That's as simple as that. And I don't know. I personally really do play this playstyle. I always pick up a weapon if I see it. Even from a dead teammate, if they die and I see, oh hey, they've got a M60 or something like that, I'm going to pick that gun up. Most likely I will not pick up guns that have suppressors on them. Like this gun has a suppressor. I'm going to stick with it just because I haven't found another DBV quite yet. But in the meanwhile, as you guys might be playing, you guys might see some of the people come and go, but you might be able to see, oh hey, this person only uses a shotgun, and I really need a shotgun on this map, so let me see if I can find this dude. Or if I kill this dude, maybe I go and I take his weapon. So just keep that totally in mind as you guys might be doing this. Some stuff is actually really helpful to just kind of pay attention a little bit more. Pay attention to their weapons and kind of their attachments. I personally don't like suppressors, so I'm going to leave suppressors off. And maybe I need something for distance. Well, now I found something for distance that is right out over here. So let me do that. And you can kind of also abuse this power. And what do I mean by abuse? If you have an LMG, you can pick up another LMG. But I would recommend you having the different ammo types for the LMG category. That way you can have the most amount of damage. But then there is also another method that you guys can actually do, where you guys actually instead pick up the same type of gun, just so that way you can have ammo. So if you guys are trying to get a ton of kills with, like, let's say the M16, you guys might want to pick up an M60 or the Colt LMG, because that just holds more ammo in it. You know, just simple as that. If you guys need to be more suppressed because you see that more people are doing some more kind of, they're looking at their radar a little bit more, keep in mind that you guys can go find a suppressed gun. Just keep this all in mind, and you guys might be able to own a little bit more, and you guys might see if you guys actually start doing better. I've noticed that since I started doing this, you guys might notice my KD ratio today is actually mega high. My KDR is usually pretty low. That L115 something something 83 or something like that is actually a really good sniper rifle. It has kind of a weird kind of thing to get used to. It's the AWP, just without a suppressed barrel in it. So just keep these in mind. And also, one last tip that I do recommend is always pressing E, and I will do this in another video where I go more in depth in why you should do that. But right now, we're just going to be mainly talking about how to kind of use your secondary weapon. You know, maybe you find a BFG, try using that for a little bit. Whenever I have my SFG out and I see a BFG, I'm gonna take that, just because, you know, BFG has a lot less bullet drop than the SFG. And also make sure to look for the attachments. And that, my friends, is really it for this episode. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm just gonna give you a few more tips while I'm playing here, and that's really it for this main part. But hope you guys do have a super day, and let's get into just a few more slight tips. Alright, so make sure that you guys can kind of glide over some of these obstacles. Gliding over some obstacles is actually a really good way to kind of get the drop down on them, and pretty much get ahead of them. You always want to have the advantage in this game, so if you guys can try to drop down in a different location or go over an obstacle maybe your teammate or your enemy can't, go ahead and try doing that, because that can really get you the advantage or anything that you really need. And I do recommend, you know, picking up that secondary weapon, which we did just talk about. I personally like some of the combinations that I use, like I did say in the video, is a assault rifle and a shotgun. Those are probably some of the most common ammos that you guys can actually find right now, so I would highly recommend it. What in the world? His legs were detached. Glitcho. So I would just recommend looking at those. Try your different combinations. You know, I haven't obviously tried all the different combinations because I like to find something that works, and then once it's broken, then I'll do it. You know, why fix something that ain't broke? Old saying. Make sure to kind of just like gliding and everything. That's actually a very important thing. You can really glide to get out of harm's way, and you can also, if somebody's going to be sniping at you, go ahead and just try to bounce back and forth between those, because then, you know, you might not be able to get shot. You might survive a few more seconds and be able to take out the enemy or protect the teammate. And then for team deathmatch, I personally would rather save a teammate. Seeing if the teammate's actually good, you want to save the teammate. If not, you don't want to save the teammate. And that's just because if the teammate's like got no kills and like 40 deaths, you're not gonna want to save them. And that's just because of simple numbers. You know, if they're not doing too well, you probably don't want to really save them. I know that it's kind of the mean thing to say, but you know, you need to kind of take into account your teammates. But I personally, most of the time, will try to save a teammate if I can. Sometimes I just won't even see my teammate or something like that, and I will just kind of go for the kill. But if it's your life, kind of like if you can survive or your teammate, if you're doing worse than your teammate, then try to have your teammate survive and take the hit for you, or you take the hit for your teammate. There's the English behind that. The English, as somebody says. Alright, let's reload the war pig. So the thing with the M60 or any real type of gun, like the LMG type guns, if you guys don't have time to reload it, try to swap out to a different gun, and that should be able to get you, hopefully with a bit more ammo and everything. Sorry. A bit more ammo, and you can totally like just pour down on some of these guys, which is great. That's really what you want. But like here, I can reload. I can just kind of hold behind this box. I'm turned to the left, so that way with my left ear muff, my left head part of my headphone, I can actually hear really, really well, and that will actually allow me to hear if anybody's coming on that reload. Protect me a little bit more. And I sometimes would recommend getting silent guns. You guys know personally, I never pick up a silent gun if I have, unless I have to. And that's just simply because nobody really checks their radar anymore. That was kind of a big thing, but not anymore, as more people are just trying to focus on the kills. I glance about every 5-10 seconds at it, unless I'm in a big gunfight. That's the only time that I really don't, is if I'm in that big gunfight. That seems to work for me, you know, but it's whatever really works for you. And then just try to make sure that if one of your teammates is shooting at something, don't really try to go for the same thing unless you kind of miss that. Like, sometimes everybody has those moments where they'll just miss something. But, you know, just keep that in mind. Come on, you should die. You should die. You should die. And I would recommend getting a P90. P90s are one of my favorite kind of SMGs to actually pick up due to their magazine size. They have such a high magazine size and everything. It's a really great gun to pick up because it's basically an LMG, but you got the speed and the damage of an SMG. But thank you guys so much again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys like this kind of new style, I'm hoping. And this is going into helpful tips, and I'm probably going to destroy the weapon selection series and just move them all over to helpful tips. I'm not too sure, and that I will probably address in another video. But thank you guys so much again, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and bye-bye.